Welcome to my channel. I hope you're well today because I have another crafty project and one that is bringing in those Mediterranean summer vibes. That's right, in this week's video I'm going to be showing you a DIY summer wreath perfect for the front door to bring in that summerness. Now, I've previously made a spring wreath and this wreath that I'm making here is taking over that for the summer month, and it's just turned British summertime here in the UK, but we're not known for that great of a summer, so I'm expecting a lot of rain, and what better way to bring in some Mediterranean vibes and brighten up that front door to bring in that summerness. So if you would like to see how to make a Mediterranean inspired door wreath, then let's get crafting. To make the DIY summer wreath and make it a Mediterranean inspired one, we are going to need a wreath base. I am using a grapevine wreath base here for this, but you could use any type of wreath base that you like. And I'm also using some artificial olive branches with some olives on them as well, artificial lemons, artificial bougainvillea, I think that's how you pronounce it, do correct me if I'm wrong, some artificial geraniums and some other blossom type artificial flowers, and not forgetting a bit of craft wire to attach these to the wreath base, as well as a hot glue gun to add some other bits to it as well, and a wire cutter to trim down that wire, and not forgetting a lovely decorative ribbon to hang the wreath up with. So here is my grapevine wreath base that I'm going to build up the wreath on, and I picked this up from Hobbycraft a few months ago when I was making my spring wreath, so I can link that up above as well if you would like. And then what I'm going to do is just build up the wreath design on this base. So I am starting with the artificial olive branches and just using the wire clippers to clip these down into the small individual branches, because these are easier to place onto the wreath and build up that look. I can link down below where I purchased all of my artificial flowers and leaves from, or you can find them in the blog post that is corresponding to this video. And then what you want to do with them olive branches is use some of that floristry wire or craft wire to wrap around the branches and then place these onto the wreath to secure it in place. Now what you can do is place some of the olive branches inside that woven base wicker pieces, the grapevine pieces, or you could just place it on top and then use the wire to secure it in place, whatever look you want to go for with the wreath. But just keep going around and playing around with the placement of these leaves on branches. What I like to do is start at the bottom middle and work my way up, spraying the flowers outwards in the direction that they are sort of falling, and I've also placed a label at the top of the wreath so I know where the top part is, where the ribbon is going to go. So keep going until you have a really nice full wreath base of the olive branches. And this is what the wreath base will look like once all of the olive branches have been attached. I think it is looking lovely and summery. Now I used 2 branches out of the 4 that I purchased and stripped them down to create that look. So it's only half of the olive branches that I bought creating that bit. Then it is time to add on the lemons. These are artificial lemons and I thought these bring in that Italian vibe to the wreath base. Now I'm attaching these with some hot glue rather than the floristry wire, just because it secures it a lot better. And as the name suggests, the glue is very hot, so do be careful and don't burn your fingers. You can buy some finger protectors that are made of silicone when using hot glue guns, and it'll just help stop burning them fingers with that hot glue. I didn't need them for this project, but they are available if you do need them. And because the lemons are made of a foam type material, the hot glue does begin to melt them, so just be careful with this, because you want to make sure the hot glue only goes on the underside where the lemons are attaching to the wreath base. And I'm not sure if you can see in the clip where it has started to bubble. Just where the glue gun is now, you can see it has bubbled a little bit. I added 4 lemons in total to the wreath, but you could do a full olive and lemon wreath to really have that nice Italian lemon citrus vibe. Then it is time to add in the first of the faux flowers, and I am using some artificial geraniums as my choice. Now these just scream holidays in the Mediterranean to me. You always see geraniums out in lovely pots, and you know, like them big olive cans they have that they use as planters, and they have lovely geraniums in them. So I'm only using a few of these. I'm just sticking on some of the leaves and then adding 2 of the bunches of geraniums to the top left hand corner of the wreath. This is just to have as a bit of an accent colour and just represent that part of the Mediterranean that I really associate with geraniums, and they are one of my favourite plants. We can get them over here in the UK, but they're just lovely, aren't they? I'm also adding on some more petals, and I think these are like a cherry blossom that I bought for my spring wreath, but I thought they went really well with the geraniums and still had a bit of a geranium and bougainvillea look. I never can say that, bougainvillea. So the next thing to add on is the bougainvilleas. Now these took a while to ship to me. I did buy them on Amazon, but they were in China, so they took a bit longer to come. And these are basically just the whole plant that sums up Mediterranean and holidays in Greece to me. Now you can find them all over Europe, I believe, and they're a little bit harder to grow in the UK because we just don't have the climate, so faux ones are the way to go. I do have some from Home Bargains or B&M I think, but I don't think they're going to last, so the faux ones are the way to go. What I'm doing is just trimming these down from the main big stalk, so it makes it a bit easier to place on the wreath, and then just tucking one in to the inside of the right hand side of the wreath and letting that drape down, and then using a second branch cut down on the outside of that right side, so it drapes around the olives and the lemons and just gives the vibe that the bougainvillea is growing through that wreath. Just twining it around, twiddling it around. I can't even get my words out for this, but yes, bougainvillea is one of my absolute all-time favourite flower, and it is actually in my blog logo because it is one of my favourite flowers, and it just represents holidays in Greece to me. So yes, using some of that craft wire to secure it all in place. And as the wreath is getting more full of items, it's a little bit harder to get your fingers in where the wire is, so I've got some like needle nose pliers, is that what they're called? I don't know, but yes, I'm just using this to help tuck that wire into place. And then once the bougainvillea is added, the wreath is not far off from being finished. All I need to do is fill in the blank spaces. Now I'm just using a few more of the olive branches that I had just to fill it in behind the lemon near the geranium to give it that more olive look, because it did seem to be that the olives were a bit hidden in this part of the wreath. To hang the wreath from the front door, we need to add a ribbon, so I'm just using a lovely lemony type green ribbon here just to place around the wreath so it can be tied up onto that door. So I've cut it down to size and then just double knotting it to secure it in place, removing the label where I had placed it in the top of that wreath base to indicate the top. Then the DIY summer wreath is ready to be hung on the front door.
I'm holding my breath as I walk to your front door. Who would have thought it could feel like this? Heart in my hands, I'm shaking like crazy. Answer the door, I got so much to say. When you're all that I want, can't you see that I'm sorry, love? Let me in, 'cause I know that you're hurting. Please, this is it. Can we give it just one more try?
So there you have how to make a DIY summer door wreath for the front door that is just perfect and emulates those Mediterranean vibes. I love the lemons, they just bring in a little bit of that Italian vibe, and then the bougainvillea, I think that's how you pronounce it, the bougalies I call them, just reminds me of a summer in Greece with all the beautiful papery petals that brings, and then of course them olive branches, they just bring it all in nicely. So let me know what you think of this DIY summer wreath and whether you'll be having a go at making your own, or are you just the kind that prefers the door wreaths for Christmas time? Let me know in them comments below. And if you've enjoyed the video as well, please do give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that notification bell to keep up with more of my creative and crafty antics coming up onto the channel. And whilst you're there, hit that notification bell as well, because that will alert you each time the videos do go live. And I also have a blog, which is Ames's Antics, which is linked down below and up above for you to check out. Sometimes it's just a little bit more information over on the blog, and all the links and everything are over on the blog post, so be sure to check that out as well. And with that said, I will see you in next week's video, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and week up ahead, and you're able to do something creative and crafty with your time. And until the next one, bye!